Both Us and Mandy concern a family unit confronted with possible destruction by outside forces, and also the confrontation of the self against the other. In the case of Us, the other is represented by doppelgangers, the real threat coming metaphorically from the protagonist family, and by extension from the audience itself, hence the title, Us.
What? It's us.
Once upon a time.
The threat initially emerges because Adelaide goes looking outside the safety of her family. Her exploration for something else, something better, leads her ironically to a twisted version of herself and sets in motion the rest of the plot. In Mandy, the loving couple are intruded upon despite withdrawing from all outside influence, or perhaps because of it.
Well? See you later.
Their self-sufficiency, satisfying any need for human contact by means of one another, falls prey to the other, in this case a fringe cult with pretensions of universality and claims to the truth of love.
You called out to me. Silently. And I listened.
In Us, seeking elsewhere leads to the release of a psychological horror best understood intellectually.
So you see, the shadow hated the girl so much for so long. Until one day, the shadow realized she was being tested by God.
In Mandy, withdrawing inward leads to the release of an internal horror best understood experientially.
I don't kneel before you! You kneel before me! I carry God's gift in my heart, not you! So you kneel before me, motherfucker! I'm your God now!
I want number 11.
Yeah?
Us is rich with possibilities to be mined by those inclined to pursue possible interpretations of Peele's use of the other to comment on the nature of ourselves. The tethered could be understood to be a social underclass, marginalized group, the impoverished, or simply that about ourselves that we wish to deny. Because the details of their othering, the process by which they've been assigned tunnel life and bound to their surface doubles, are not explicit, we are permitted to interpret the core injustice of the film along any lines we prefer. What we cannot do is to escape understanding that there is intended significance embedded in the story. We're free to interpret, but not free from interpreting. We are not meant to take the events of the film at face value, and as such the effect of the story is intellectual. It's abstracted, and although this can be very satisfying, it nevertheless places its characters and events at a distance from the audience. In a sense, the protagonists are as unlike us as they are from their doubles. In Mandy, the tone and mood from scene to scene is governed by influences that affect us as much subconsciously as overtly, and the result is a visceral experience. It's not that Mandy is lacking for material to analyze, from its obviously deliberate color coding to its oblique occult references. It's that those elements are not at core what the movie is all about.
This is the tainted blade.
pale night, straight from the abyssal lair.
There is also a secondary other that threatens in Mandy, as Red himself becomes something following her death that he had not been, or not allowed himself to be, before. Nuances exist in Mandy to explore at the viewer's pleasure, but the actual experience of the horrifying presentation itself is ultimately the point. In Us, this is somewhat reversed, as the scare elements seem like icing on the cake, the substance of which is a story meant to be interpreted and understood. Both are certainly good in their respective ways. Us is a polished Hollywood horror film that is smart and effective, employing all the tools of modern filmmaking by a savvy director with a strong voice. Mandy is a raw, visceral experience, seen through the kaleidoscopic lens of a director interested in effects rather than causes, and in expression rather than explanation. To my mind, Us is a chilling horror film to contemplate, while Mandy is a blood-hot horror to experience. It's not possible to be as profoundly affected by the former as the latter. As such, I endorse Mandy as the more horrifying, if not the better film.
The darker the horror, the brighter the flame.
As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, leave any comments you may have, and check out the other videos on our channel.